Buongiorno a tutti, ai follower di database italia.it. Oggi abbiamo l'onore di avere un ospite speciale, la dottoressa Li Meng. Today we have the honor of interviewing Dottoressa Yan, an expert Chinese virologist who first denounced to the world the responsibility of the CCP in the creation and spread of the COVID-19. Good morning, Dr. Yan. Can you explain, good morning, can you explain us how and when this attack started from the Wuhan laboratory?
What I can tell you is this outbreak first happened in Wuhan, definitely. And as I know it, it's already end of December when I get involved into the investigation. So according to the open materials, you can know now that even in December from the beginning, there were already patients come out in Wuhan. And the thing is, from the beginning, the China government, the CCP government, they try to cover up all the situation, including that they change the number of the diagnosed cases, and they don't admit human-to-human transmission until 20th January. And also the very important thing is they try to let you believe that this thing is come from the seafood market in Wuhan, which is caused by some unknown innocent animal. So these are the things we know from the beginning. China and WHO and the scientific world work together to make people believe, which is totally wrong.
Okay. But you have some proof to explain us this situation, because journalists, we know that a lot of them are corrupted from the power of the elite. Which kind of proof can you show us? You can tell us to prove this sentence.
So this is the first step, the first part of the things during my secret investigation representative of WHO reference lab in the University of Hong Kong. So at that time, because I represent of WHO and my supervisor, Prof. Liu Peng, and also Prof. Malik Paris, they are the top coronavirologists in the world. So I can get access to the secret confidential information from my own network in China, including the government like CDCs and also the hospitals in Wuhan and also other hospitals on the front line of COVID-19 pandemic. And also I have my own special network in the laboratories, including the military ones, because I have got my medical degree and PhD degree in China in the top universities. So based on this, from 31st December 2019 to 17th January, I have conducted twice the secret investigation because China government doesn't want people to know the information. And also at that time, my supervisor warned me that if I get into such investigation, I should be careful, because if not, I will go cross the red line and then I will be disappeared. So during the investigation, except for the phone call and the talking record, there are also other evidence later after I reviewed it that from the publications you can check. So now people already know that not only from me in January, there are also publications from China CDC to tell you that in Wuhan in December, at least over 40 patients, and also China government, WHO, they already kind of admit that Wuhan seafood market may not be the problem of the cause. Still, I mean, now they try to drag it back to the seafood market and back still, but they know it's very weak now because there are a lot of evidence I show to people, I show to the US, those agents, some I cannot show immediately because of the security concern, but there are enough evidence to show people that WHO and China government work together. For example, you can say that during the first time China government tried to upload the sequence of the COVID-19 virus. So initially, they delayed it from December to 10th January. And then when they upload and people can check it on 12th January in NIH database gene bank, that it is the sequence with unusual errors. Basically, it's like you take the photo of the fingerprint. That can be the genome sequence of virus. It's unique. You use it to identify the virus. So whether the photo or the result is clear or not, it should be no errors inside, right?
Okay.
But that sequence, the first one, they delayed and they work with the CDC, the hospitals, also work with the University of Sydney. Professor Edward Holmes, as a foreign expert, they also involved. So that is, I said, not only within certain labs, it's a big scale of the scandal. So that one is wrong. Because it's wrong, people cannot trace it back to the closed virus, which I mean, in the scientific word, we call it origin. It's like you check the DNA, you found the parent. So you cannot trace it back to the right way. That's a step. They try to drive your attention, and when you check, you thought it's a novel virus. But the next day, I mean, the 13th January, remember, there was a first overseas cases happened in Thailand. That means it is possible for foreign countries to isolate the virus and get the sequence quickly, because it won't take much time. And that's why the China government has to secretly change this wrong sequence. On 14th January, if you check the gene bank, as I checked, you will see that it shows the previous version 1 has been removed or replaced. So at that time, it is kind of a complete one. Still, it's not long enough. Several hundred of the nucleotides missed. So that's why 17th January, they again add pad. And I have the evidence to show that at that time, the original one was removed. And also I have other evidence to show that actually, when they upload the first version, there are also scientists discussed online, said there is problem, should be something wrong here. But somehow these people later all shut up and write paper to support the nature origin and later attack me. I haven't shown some of this in public, but these people know who they are. That's why some of these experts, after attacking me and my report, switch off their Twitter comment online.
I can figure out. But I have another question. In your opinion, is this attack to the whole world part of the strategy of the CCP and the deep state that controls it for the destructions of the American and world economy? Or there are other implications as well? What do you think about it?
So as I mentioned in my 2 reports, basically the first one, I show you the most, academic part, is including why this one is unusual, the SARS-CoV-2, COVID-19 virus, right? So all the features shows it is like the Frankenstein, the monster, and combined by different kind of functional lethal part, attack human purposely on the right place using their techniques. And also, this can be done within 6 months. You just need to get the backbone. The China military owned the specific Zhoushan bat coronavirus. And also, this one is well adapted to human. That is the first report. From the second one, I tell you that to perfect this story, when you see this one, you thought it's, even the layman will thought, oh, it seems not come from nature, right? So CCP government and their colleagues, you can call it deep state, but now it's almost, the open ones in the scientific world, right? So
Yeah.
these people work together, including the organizations like WHO, even US NIH, CDC, the top expert, and also the peer-reviewed journals like Nature, Lancet, and also New England Journal of Medicine. These all get together to do the fabrications. And these things, when they fabricate a lot of new virus, it's like they fill the gaps between nature origin theory from the unknown bad or unknown host they want you to believe to the SARS-CoV-2 virus. But when you remove all these fabricated things, as I show you the evidence, which is very solid, you will see that this origin is empty, while the other side, the lab origin, actually is very solid, step by step, and it's easy, convenient, and it can be repeated if you have the template. And also I show you that based on the concept from the Academy of China Military Medical Science, they have told you the concept about the bioweapon. I listed it in the final part of my second report, which is easy for even laymen to read it. So it is including the 3 characters. That it should be easy to transmit, especially human to human, and also it has to be like better. It should be going through the respiratory, like doing aerosol, airborne ones. We already said, and also it can cause either the lethal or injury, right? People dead or people get hurt. These 3 now we see all perfectly matched. SARS-CoV-2 virus, although it's not like the Ebola, 60% death, but we are vulnerable. It's well adapted. And once you are vulnerable as you're senior or even you are the young people but with some baseline problem, your system, multi-system in your body get attacked. And you see like in the beginning in China and in the beginning in Italy faced to the pandemic, when it all comes, the medical system broke down because they're highly contagious. People are easy to get infected, and the system cannot afford so many patients. So that's the things, I mean, over their expectation even. And we still don't have magic drugs. We don't have enough immunity. Herd immunity is not reliable in this case. First, we don't know how many contingent it really left in your body. We see the report and data already. I'm sure you don't want to try to face it. And another thing is, according to the first-hand data I had, there are also the immunity, but not quite long-term immunity. And based on the experience in SARS, which is original version they copy to the SARS-CoV-2, the immunity or the vaccine immunity will even give you the side effect like antibody-dependent enhancement. That's why we still don't have SARS vaccine until now. And I don't think we will have the good SARS-2 vaccine in a short while. Also, you see, when the asymptomatic patients come out, like from China to Europe to US, or among Europe and US, these things, it's difficult for you to prevent the spreading, right?
Yeah.
So that's why the economic going down, our social order all get changed. And China, what are they doing now? They are telling you that they have vaccine, although this is lies. And they are telling you that, oh, it's even come from Italy. I believe you have seen such hilarious announcement, right?
Yeah, very hilarious.
And yeah, now they don't admit it comes from China. So all these things get together. What do you think so? I mean, this is even more powerful than the routine weapons, right?
Yeah.
No weapon makes such big hurt for the whole world like this, and we still need to face to the next pandemic waves. So that's why I call it the unrestricted bioweapon. Just check the function. You will understand it. We don't need some people to define and tell us it's not traditional, it not looks like weapons. You just say what happened. People understand, right?
Yeah, of course. And for this reason, I would like to ask you that nowadays the danger of the WHO and the CCP is well known all over the world. Should we expect another attack to our health, this time with a truly dangerous biological weapon, such as maybe COVID-21? What do you think about it?
I mean, not me. You just check the recently talk. Dr. Fauci in NIH in US told people that there will be worse things. WHO has told people there will be worse things. China government from the CDC, they warn people there may be COVID-20, even 30s. I mean, you cannot 100% believe these people's word, right? Based on their experience. But you also need to know that we Chinese people stay in Chinese Communist Party ruling for years, decades. We know their style. So now that means it's a warning. It's not just the lying or something. In this case, it's warn the world that if you don't listen to us, and there will be more pandemic. I can tell you that I work in the top virology lab. When you do the virus experiment, no matter what virus, you never only have one, like I write a book, I only have one book. No, there are always candidates because the biology experiment also requires random results. So when you compound the things, although you are the top expert, you always have several candidates for each step at the same time. Then you select optional or optimal one, or maybe you thought, oh, I can keep as backup. We usually keep all of them and then later try to test which one fit my needs at this moment. Yeah. So image when they deliberately design and modify the virus, make it become a bioweapon. How many candidates do they have? Because this is a high mutant one. And also China government, as I explained in the report, they encourage scientists for decades to look for the novel zoonotic pathogens, not only coronavirus, also like plague and other virus, West Nile, Marburg, and other things. So if you believe this government, then you trust they won't release more. If not, you would understand what may happen.
What kind of solution can governments adopt to get out of this communist dictatorship in your mind? What do you think about?
I just want to, based on this question, it's very easy for people to think. If you change it to another example. So if your home had water leakage, your idea may be to check your washroom pipe. See whether it is broken off the water pipe, right?
Okay.
If it's the water pipe, you change it. And to solve the leakage, you may think about whether I use mop or I use a paper or I use a heating machine to dry it. In this case, it's like if the virus comes from nature, it may be like the pipe. You look for the reason, and then at the same time, you think about solution as a therapeutic or the vaccine, like mops or papers or machine, and then you solve it, right?
Yeah.
But in this case, actually, it's your neighbor. The Chinese Communist Party deliberately spill the water to your home from the roof, from the door, from the window, from washroom, anywhere.
Yeah.
Right? So in this case, since they already make the damage to your home, do you trust that? Do you trust that they won't spill the other solution like the oil or chemical things to your room? If it's like this, the first thing you should hold your neighbor accountable, right? That's why I said the origin of the virus is always very critical. I use different evidence, including intelligence, which are not fully published in public because it cannot be now. But the scientific evidence I show is enough to tell people this is the lab origins. And in this case, if you still trust the Chinese Communist Party and think about that therapeutic or vaccine will help, trouble.
Yeah.
And as I said, vaccine still, we don't have the perfect way to solve it now.
So the only solution maybe is to take down the CCP.
I have to say, this is not only a slogan. This is a real thing come from us. We are Chinese people. For me, I stay in China for 30 years, and also I stay in Hong Kong for almost 10 years. Yeah. And during that time, I can see clearly the difference between the Communist Party to the international city like Hong Kong, and also when Chinese Communist Party try to ruin this city and this culture, how fast, how easy it is. So I go experience this like Hong Kong protests or other things. I see how terrible this regime is. And later I see the pandemic come out. I did the investigation and I see all the evidence because I work with those top scientists who work with Chinese Communist Party. Yeah. I see a lot of things. I know a lot of things. When I see how China treats the frontline doctors and nurses, I mean, much worse than any country treats their own soldiers. Yeah. You will understand that that is a solution. You cannot have any expectation for them.
Yeah, it's the same for me because I don't know, I hope that in China there will be the possibility for a revolution to take place to stop the powerful families that control the CCP. Maybe starting with the people and supported also by the scientific community. Don't know if it could be a dream, but we have also the problem in Europe and especially in Italy. The danger of the WHO is so connected to the CCP, and they are controlling our politics, our government. So don't know, maybe one day there will be a revolution, not only in China. I hope something not currently, but also in Italy. What do you think about China, about CCP and WHO? There will never be a revolution, something like this. I don't know.
So let's just back to the COVID-19, this issue. From the beginning, when people are treated by Chinese Communist Party and WHO's title, the government and people believe that. And what you see, later you see the outbreak. And later you see they tell you that no mask, no human-to-human transmission, but all denied since I reviewed it in January. And also you see that they tell you this won't be a big pandemic and no point to cut off the airlines or the traffic from China to other places. But in case they lock down Wuhan, but allow the people going around the world and spread the virus without people's, consciousness. And the last thing is, we see there is no intermediate cost, but still now, until recently, WHO still try to tell people in New York Times and other media that, oh, we are going to discuss with China government to look for the nature origin theory in Wuhan. We are working on that. Totally ignore the lab origin and deny it. Sure. Also, like hydroxychloroquine, as I always tell people, I go through Mr. Lude's media, another PhD, and also me will recommend it to people from the beginning that hydroxychloroquine was shown to be useful in anti-SARS time. And Dr. Fauci also knows that. China government knows that. Our intelligence show the senior level of the Chinese government officers, they have it. They take it for prevention and early-stage treatment. So that's why you see they're still very safe now. But they don't allow the public to use it. In most of countries in the world, this is very difficult to get. But what I can tell you before that, before the vaccine, this will be the very useful drug for both prevention and early stage treatment. And more data already show it, although it's still being suppressed by the scientific world. All the things together, I believe people already know Chinese Communist Party, WHO, and most of the scientists in the world now are not reliable. So what can we do is we are not the government officers. We cannot make policies directly, but you people, you're in the democratic countries, you have your vote. More people listen to this, understand it, verify by yourself. Yeah. When you realize it, you can push the government or push the people who are important to make the decision. Although the voices are suppressed from the mainstream media, but still media like you and other media who interview me or we had a good discussion before, they understand it, realize it. Like me, I try my best to spread the truth to people. And I hope people can make effort to let your friend and family and people around you to listen to you, or go to verify evidence, scientific evidence I show online. Yeah. Open discussion, scientific discussion is already welcome. And I welcome scientists using scientific way, pound to pound, discuss with me about the report. I can explain or we can argue, that's okay, but not like the mainstream media just shut down and also ruin the reputation.
This is why you are so important, not only for China and the USA, but for the whole world, also for Italy. Can you send a message to Italian people who respect and support you? Also because today we are victims, as you said, of this kind of government controlled and financed by the CCP, the Italian government. So can you send us a message to our audience, to the Italian people?
So I want to tell the Italian people that from the mid-January, when I'm disappointed to WHO and those scientists, I tend to deliver message in Chinese through this media on YouTube. We do save a lot of Chinese people, and also within hours push China government to change the policy. Even WHO, they have to admit the human-to-human transmission and quickly do the restriction of the virus. It is in China. But I didn't expect that time that they are so corrupted and so evil that later the virus goes spread to the world and make such big outbreak, because I try to push the overseas scientists to help and work together, restrict the virus in the original place and do the thorough investigation. Clearly, those people who can do it compromise with China government. So now what we can do is, I already write the papers, the report, 2 years report in English. The reason I choose not to put it to peer-reviewed journal is I come from the core lab in the world to study the coronavirus. I work with the really top people who work on this, and behind WHO, behind Chinese Communist Party, they are the experts, provide the things. So I can clearly tell people that the peer-reviewed journals won't give any chance to let such evidence come out at how they try to disappear me. I put it on zenando.com for open access for free, just to let more and more people read it, verify by yourself. Don't get misled directly by the mainstream media. And also I have a lot of video record online by interviews. You can check it. And also you can go to my Twitter. I have my official Twitter now, Dr. Li Meng first. And also I'm on Parler, on Gap. I try to let more people know this. I hope you can know it. There is only one truth in the world. And the truth in COVID-19 case is origin of COVID-19 is very important. How to overcome it is very important. It comes from the China military lab. controlled by CCP and also modified from the not harmful bad coronavirus to this lethal one, unpurposely released to the society. It is unstrict bioweapon. Now people are in the unrestricted, not traditional bio war. And the hydroxychloroquine combined with other drugs can be the very useful, maybe the best prevention method at this moment, and also for the early stage treatment. If in Italy you cannot get hydroxychloroquine, you should read more to understand this drug. It is one of the most safe drugs in the world for decades. No magic drug, but understand it and push your government open counter for this. People need it. It can help you before you totally remove this risk. And how to totally remove has to remove the Chinese Communist Party regime first. If not, never finally finish this problem.
I take always 2 boxes of hydroxychloroquine in my house with zinc and other things. A lot of vitamins, vitamin C, D3, K2, and to prevent and to up the immune system. So
one more thing is hydroxychloroquine is very important, but also have to be careful for using like the rubber alcohol to clean your hand, and also social distance. Necessary times wear the surgical mask. These are all the measurements to prevent you and your family.
Okay. Please send our regards also to Steve Bennon, Mr. Miles Guo. They are lights to the whole world, and we know that they have been fighting for years to expose these crimes and the dangerousness of the CCP. So send our regards, and our slogan also in Italy in this period will be "Take down the CCP," and it is not a slogan as you said. It's a focus now.
Yeah, so, exactly.
I thank you very much for your kindness, and don't know what else to add, and keep in touch, and also Italy is all for you and for your job, for your important professionality, and for your work. Thank you very much. Thank you very
much. I just hope everyone can know the fact, because as I said from the Fox News interview, that we do not have enough time now.
Ok. Grazie ancora, un saluto a tutti i nostri telespettatori e un saluto alla dottoressa Meng. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.